Hello, Midlife Sisters. It's Nicole and Melissa, and we are so excited to join you for another coffee chat. Today, we are talking about the house. What in the house can we swap so that we can reduce the estrogen disruptors so that we can have more balanced hormones? That has been the theme all month. How can we reduce those dangerous estrogens that keep on showing up in our world? And we went through the bathroom on, I think, the first week. Then we went into the kitchen.
Yep.
Now we're going to kind of go into the rest of the home and give you some more tips and tricks of what we do to make sure that we are really minimizing the amount of toxicity that shows up. So Melissa's going to start. She is going to go for her top three areas, and then I will finish off with mine.
Yeah.
Melissa.
Let's start with probably the easiest and one of the most toxic yet beautifully smelling items that so many people use. And maybe you guys can guess as I'm going along. So it can be used in your laundry. I have had a real estate agent suggest putting them in your air vents to blow through, beautiful smell through your house. Those fabric softener sheets. They are one of the most toxic things that you can use. Having said that, there are less toxic ones, but the fleecy ones, do not use them. If you do have them, this is one of those things I'm going to say, throw it out immediately, stop using it. Do not finish what you have, just stop. Immediately stop using it. Because here's what we've been led to believe is that laundry needs to have that downy, fresh smell. That, friends, is just toxins. We don't want that. But I get it. And especially I find with workout clothes and we're on a well, sometimes they still smell not like body odor, but like that wet dishcloth smell. It's been wet and dry, that kind of smell. So what you can do is actually get what's called dryer balls. And you can't use tennis balls because there's rubber in there. You got to buy actual tennis balls. They're just balls and they're kind of squishy. And you can drop some essential oil on it and then throw those into the dryer. So you're still getting fresh smelling laundry without any toxins. And then same is with the laundry soap that you're using. Those stinky, stinky detergents are full of toxins. So just find one that doesn't have that in there or is scented with essential oils, for example. So less toxins. And you can find those in pretty much every grocery store on the shelf there. You don't have to go to the health food store to buy it. You can get them in Costco and you'll still get beautifully clean clothes, very light scented with essential oils. And then you can add more if you want to with your dryer balls. So super important. Because imagine there's these toxins that you're washing your clothes with, and then you're wearing it all day, every day with something, right? So you're constantly inhaling that. So it's disrupting your hormones. So that's the laundry. The other thing I want to talk about is just general cleaning products, still on the topic of scents. Pine Sol Fresh, remember those commercials? Again, loaded with toxins. So the simplest, there's two things you can do, is just use vinegar. And there's actually a cleaning vinegar. You can get that here in Canada at Canadian Tire. I'm sure you can get it in the States somewhere. It's just a stronger vinegar. Even if you can't, you can just use regular vinegar and don't dilute it as much and use that for all of your cleaning, your floors, your counters, your windows, even your fruit and vegetables you could wash down with that. And the smell dissipates very quickly. As soon as I start cleaning, my son's like, "Oh, vinegar, it's terrible. That smells forever." I'm like, "Settle down. It's going to dissipate in a matter of minutes without any toxins." Because you think you take that Pine Sol and you wipe it on your counters as you're doing a cleaning, and then you cut your food on it. So now you're smelling it and you're eating it. So again, that's another product that I say get rid of, stop using immediately to reduce the toxins and get vinegar. It's such a simple cleaning solution. You can even use it to clean your kettles or coffee pots or things like that to get rid of that what do you call it? Calcium buildup. So it's so powerful, your vinegar. You can even put it in your drains. If your drains are getting clogged or they have that sulfur smell, that will help with that, as well as some baking soda. So some simple things like that. And then what was the last thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, just in general, cleaning products is a company called Norwex. I love them for two reasons. One is it's cloths that you can use, and they have some for windows, they have some for stainless steel, then they just have all purpose. And you can literally just use water with them, or again, you could use some vinegar and water in there as well. They have some silver in some of them, so it doesn't get that musty smell. And it's nice you're not using more paper towels and throwing stuff out like that. And their mop. I should be a rep for this company. And their mop is to die for because it's huge. And it has reusable pads, one for just dusting and then one for wet. But it's huge. So it literally cuts down the amount of time it takes to do your floors. It's kind of like a Swiffer, but without the chemicals and without the disposable little thingies that go on the bottom. This is a pad that Velcros on, and you can just rinse it off, or you don't even need to every time. So I just do the dry mop first, get all the dust bunnies, and then I just wash it with just water or sometimes, and then I'll put essential oils sometimes on the bottom of that as well. So it smells really nice. And then I guess this isn't really cleaning, but one other thing that just popped into my head, you know, those air fresheners, the plugins, Glade, I think was one of the brands. You put the little plastic thingy in there and it just emits this horrific toxic load into your house. So again, instead of that, throw them out, don't finish them. Get a diffuser and use essential oils. So that's the theme. Water and vinegar for cleaning, and essential oils if you want to add some fresh but healthy scents to your cleaning in your areas. So simple and really affordable. Vinegar, a few bucks a jug.
And
Yeah.
you tend to save money, I find. Like, yes, you
Yeah.
might like a lot of the commercial, I find cleaners are just as expensive as now the essential oil, cleaners.
Mhm.
And when you go to even, let's say, buy like dish soap now, and a lot of people are on a budget, and I get that. So if you even just go into the regular cleaning section and you're grabbing, let's say, even dish soap, you can get the dish soap that is clear, not bright fluorescent yellow, orange, or green, because again, full of chemicals. Is just start choosing products that don't have the fragrance and don't have the colors. Those two things alone can really cut back on those estrogen disruptors. Thank you for sharing, Melissa. There was a couple things that I thought about um, with the cleaning is I get Thieves cleaner.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really like that, right, with
Essential
essential
oils. Yep.
oils. So I put that like in a water in a spray bottle, and we use that for that nice, instead of the smelling vinegary all the time was,
Mhm.
we use that. And then I remember when I was a teenager, my first exposure to sniffing that Dutch powder that for some reason I absolutely loved. I loved the smell of the
You're
Dutch
talking like the Java
powder.
or the Clorox
Yeah,
powder
well, it
for
was a
scrubbing?
powder, and
Yeah, in
and
a
then you
container, you just shake it out.
yeah, and I remember I was at work and I was like literally sniffing it before I started like
That's a whole
cleaning.
other conversation.
Not that kind of sniffing, just I really liked the smell of it, and my nose started to bleed, like full on
Are you kidding?
nosebleed. Yeah, I still remember that story, and I was
Wow.
like, had no idea, but a great example of how toxic. And that was just the smell of it. Never mind, I promise I wasn't snorting it. I'm glad I didn't snort it because I don't even know what the heck that would happen. But
Right?
anyways, just to give you an example of how toxic these
Yeah.
products are. So I want to
You know
talk
what
to you about
I was just gonna
water.
say,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, it's like smelling those products, like I used to love the Downy sheet. So let's be clear, I have not always been, oh yeah, I never used any of that. I used it. And then as I learn more, I'm like, okay, it's not worth it to do that. I'll do something else. And Windex is an example like that for me. That stuff in the blue spray is so horrific. I can't even stand to be near it. And of course, when I've been away, my family will buy that, not knowing better. And I'm like, get this garbage out of here. It is so, I can't even breathe it in when it's been sprayed. It's so bad. So yeah, terrible, terrible. Ditch that too.
Yeah, and I do the Norwex when we went down to Mexico. I doubled up on everything so that my condo could have it. And like you say, it's just so easy to, do what you need to do.
And you don't
Okay,
you don't even need cleaners, right? You can
no,
use Norwex cloths on your
water,
so yeah.
water is so
Yep.
good. Okay, so let's
Great tip.
talk about water. Um,
Mhm.
how do you clean your water, right? Like, so I'm a big believer in making sure that one of your biggest investments is going to come from clean drinking water. Okay. Hold on. The dog is coming. Hi, Lenny. We have this dog that we babysit every once in a while. He always loves to come down and give me a big hug. Okay. He gave me his lovin'. So drinking water, like I am grateful that we are, let's say, in Canada here, and they do some level of obviously purification where it is safe to drink uh, our water. When we're done in Mexico,
Not so
not
much.
safe, not so much. Okay, so I'm grateful I'm in Canada. I could drink our drinking water if I choose to. Nothing bad is going to happen where I might be going to the bathroom really fast, like in Mexico. So in that regard, fine. Everybody can drink, clean drinking water. However, I'm all about optimizing your lifestyle. And to me, optimizing is making sure that you're upgrading your water so that you don't get still chemicals that are found or the chlorine that is in water. Now, some of you can relate. Where was I the other day? I
Falling.
think that we were out and said, "Oh, try my water," or whatever. It literally tasted like a pool, and
Yeah,
this was
city
tap
water is
water.
like that. It stinks so bad.
It can
I
stink,
know.
depends
I'm a
on the
snob.
season, the smell. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So just be aware that if your goal is to upgrade your health, is start with your water. Big deal, your water. So of course, I think about, okay, the Brita, right? That would be your basic. That's right now what my girls can afford in college and university is doing the
Start though,
Brita,
right? You
right?
start somewhere. Yep.
Start and you just keep on moving. Then I remember we went to reverse osmosis. Then we learned that reverse osmosis takes everything out. Well, we need minerals. So then I ended up buying a system that put minerals back in. So it reversed it, but then put minerals back in. And then there's also what's called a Berkey. My parents have a Berkey down in Mexico. That's about anywhere between like a $500 and $800, where you could take the tap water, put it in, it filters through. There's also Nikan water. I've had that before. It's really yummy. I'm just giving you different ideas. And then a few years ago, both Melissa and I upgraded to the Kangen water system, where you can create different alkaline waters, anywhere from 2.5 to 11.5. You can use it as a disinfectant. You can clean with. We do a lot of cleaning with it, which is great. We have a tower garden. So our tower gardens, we use the 6.0 setting on the Kangen to use the water for plants. So there's different options. When I first moved into my place, I got a full water filtration of our whole entire home. So we have to change that filter every 3 months. That filter goes from being clear to in 3 months looking like full of junk and copper and just it's nasty. And I'm like, wow, this is the type
Right.
of stuff that we're pulling out of our drinking water. We also have a filter in both of our bathrooms for the water. When you think if you like water in a bath, or I'm going to say baths, yes, and shower as much as me. I'm in water a lot. I want to make sure that, our skin is our largest organ. So you want to be bathing or showering in really clean water that isn't full of chemicals. Is there anything else you wanted to say on just water? I know you're on well water. So do you get your well water tested? Is
Oh
it,
yeah, you absolutely have to because you never know what could be leaching
yeah,
in there. But our well water is so hard that we had to put a water softener in. So I have this love-hate relationship because the hard water is ruining the pipes and the taps. It's just got all that calcification everywhere. So y- we have to have the water softener. It's just hard on your body. Yet I can't drink it. It's terrible. So thankfully we have the Kangen system. So it's quite the system we got going on. So it comes in, but then we have to have some of it coming through the drinking water and the other. But as you said, we're 70 between 70 and 80% water. And if you're drinking it every single day, you need to have it as clean as possible. As
yeah,
clean as we gotta do something and definitely test your water on a well because things can go sideways and you don't even know. Something could get in there or whatever.
yeah. Yeah, we actually just had our water tested. I think last year, my daughter was like, "Oh my gosh, Dad has a different water filter system, and you need to do this and this." And I said, "Well, I'll get a guy to come in." And he came in. He goes, "Oh, I just want to let you know, there's like 5 different ways that you can get water in our town. You're on one of the wells that's actually good." So he said, he's like, and I would have bought the exact same water filtration system for your place. He goes, you don't need to continue to upgrade. Like what you have is good. Your water's tested good. So I was happy about that because I had already invested so much in our
Right.
water
Yeah.
for sure. So, okay, I want to talk about filters, like making sure that your furnace filters is obviously cleaned every like 3 months. You can get a HEPA filter. That's even better. And then I know in our household, we have animals, and there are some humans in our house that do not respond to animals so well. So we actually have in our room a filter, and that totally helps because you get a lot of dander
You mean purifier?
what's that?
Purifier?
We have an air purifier
Okay.
that
Yeah, you said
goes.
filter. So do you mean air purifier
Oh
for this?
yeah, air
Yeah.
purifier
Okay.
that goes on. It's pretty big. And then we have one in the hallway upstairs as well, so it's not really impacting our sleep. And because our animals like to go all over, but it's also, there's pollutants always in our
Right.
house, right?
Right.
So if you are sensitive or have any lung issues, allergies, you might want to consider purchasing an air purification. It's a really good investment. So we have that going on. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is just when we bring new products into our house. I'll give you an example. A new product might be like a new mattress. And then you take the plastic off and you might notice those smells. I'm going to call it off gassing. You're like, oh my gosh, that is just nasty. So you have to decide what you're going to do with that, especially if it's in a bedroom, right? Are you just opening up the windows, but you're still sleeping on the bed? Are you taking the bed out to the hallway and letting it off gas for a number of days? Like these are the levels of, I call it like off gassing the toxins. So just be aware of the products that you bring in. I remember, I have a couple quick stories. I have my sister that had twin babies, and about 10 years ago, when they were just real little, she is like a designer and she wants everything pretty, and she brought these two carpets from Costco, and she goes, I remember like unrolling it, and they were in the baby's bedroom, and the amount of toxicity that came off of those two carpets, she's like, I couldn't breathe, I was coughing, I realized obviously I don't want this for my babies and their lungs. And so she ended up literally taking both of the carpets out, putting them in the garage, and off gas them for 2 weeks before she felt safe for those carpets to come back into her house.
Ugh.
So just like think about like in your house, like we can think about the paint. Thank goodness that there is more healthier paint. And I know that you've been doing lots of painting lately, Melissa, but
Yep.
right, you've ever worked with toxic paint versus healthy paint. There's a big difference, right? Your furniture, oh my gosh, like that's another one where like you buy a couch set and you bring it in. Like most of those products have been sprayed, especially if you want to get the protector, and most people get the spray protector on. It literally off gases for a number
We-
of hours. So just awareness. It's just like, can I make a better choice? And obviously there's budgets that are involved. So like, oh yeah, I love to buy the organic mattress, but that would be like, $3,000 to $4,000. I can't afford it. So maybe just plan to like open it up and off gas it somewhere so that you're not breathing in those toxins for a number of weeks, and keeping the window open as that, piece of furniture is off gassing. Really important. And the one I just thought of too about off gassing is if you have a shower and you use those plastic liners. Oh my gosh, those
Bad.
plastic liners are nasty. And then you end up having a hot shower, and the heat with the plastic off gas. So you can maybe get
And the
a different,
shampoos. It's just a nice
right?
cocktail going, a toxic sauna.
Right. And we wonder why, disease is up, cancer risk is up. It's just like we're exposed on a daily, and it's not getting any, the
Nuts.
level of toxicity is not going down unless we become mindful. So that is today's topic. We wanted you to kind of be a little bit more mindful of your home. How can you do swaps? How can you maybe do a different way of purchasing products, or even services like your cleaning service? If you have a woman or a man that comes in and cleans your house, making sure that they're using safe products, and maybe saving up for an extra couple months so that you can buy that healthier couch or that organic mattress that I decided to do is better products all around, is a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
So thank you for tuning in. And next week, we are going to be diving into the world of toxicity around electric magnetic frequency. A big topic these days, especially with all the talks around the 5Gs and how people aren't feeling so great hanging out in that energy. So we're going to dive deep next week. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you liked this video and education and you think of somebody that could really use some inspiration about detoxification, make sure that you like and share this video. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.